Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining. So I made it to the Washington, D.C. Auto Show, and this is a pretty big show. It's on two levels, but it's not as big as some of the other shows, such as in New York or Chicago. It's on two levels. I'm coming here during the week, which is great because it's not at all crowded, so I can really move around. I have plenty of room to see what kinds of offerings there are here. And one of the things that was very interesting for me was to see if there are still going to be a lot of internal combustion engines or if they're going to totally focus on electrics and hybrids. Happily, they are pretty much still focusing on internal combustion with a lot of electrics and hybrids. And the one thing about the Washington, D.C. show, it's called the Policy Show because obviously this is where policy is made for the United States, for the federal government and so forth. So there's a lot of policy talk and sort of future strategy for the car industry on which way they're going to go. Again, hopefully this isn't the last show where we see so many internal combustion engines, but we'll see as we move forward. So I want to show you some of the things that I saw here today, and here we go.
And we're starting out in the Corvette section. So of course we see the beautiful Corvette, and this is the 2023 Z06. And it's great that they're highlighting these cars. I hope that these are the cars that they continue to highlight. You know, when you go to an auto show, you expect to see exciting cars, things that are going to motivate you and inspire you. And Corvette is now a world-class supercar more than ever. Beautiful car. One thing we didn't see here on the Corvette side is the E-Ray. Some people think the E-Ray is an all-electric, a battery electric, but it is not. It is a hybrid. So again, we don't see one of those here today. The next thing we looked at was the Camaro, and of course the Camaro, like the Mustang and the Dodge Challenger and Charger, is an affordable, much more affordable than the Corvette, an affordable, muscle car, V8 muscle car. The Camaro's days are numbered, as are the Dodge Charger and Challenger. The Mustang will live on. The new 2024 Mustang comes out next year, and it lives on as maybe one of the last pony cars with a nice V8 powerful engine. We'll see what happens with that. And heading over to Ford, we see some Broncos. We'll get back to that in a minute. And under glass is a Mustang Mach-E, the electric. Don't know why they call that a Mustang Mach-E, because this is the real Mustang. I don't know why they just didn't call the Mach-E something else. Anyway, the Mustang is still being highlighted here, which is beautiful. And again, this is the 2023. The 2024s will be coming out next year. They don't look that much different to me from the outside, at least, the 24s, but there are some under the skin changes and improvements. Power-wise, they're about the same, still with a nice V8 engine. And of course here, beautiful 2023. So if you're on the fence about waiting, you don't have to. Here are the Broncos. And these Broncos, they are so popular. They of course started out competing with the Jeeps, the Jeep, Wranglers and Rubicons and so forth. But some of them are pretty big. They're the 2-doors, the 4-doors, and I think they kind of also compete with the Grand Cherokees as well. But again, they're really popular. My cousin John ordered one maybe 3 years ago, and maybe because of the options he ordered and the supply chain problems, it still hasn't been made, and they actually are offering him $25 to drop some of those options and order something else. And again, here's the Stellantis Jeep competition to the Bronco, actually Bronco competition to this. But again, here we go, and this is the Grand Wagoneer. So they're really trying, the Jeeps, the Grand Cherokees were, I think, a real nice size, but again, they want some bigger ones to compete with the biggest Ford Expeditions and the General Motors, big, huge SUVs and so forth. So again, they now have the Wagoneer, the Grand Wagoneer, and of course still the Grand Cherokee. These probably have limited time for V8 engines as well, and they're going to go to the Hurricane engine, which is a straight 6. There's the beautiful Rubicon, great for off-road. And of course, the Hellcat Charger, We still have the Hellcats here on the floor of the auto show, which is fantastic. This is probably the last year you'll see them at the auto show, which is very sad because, again, these are very exciting, fantastic enthusiast cars that are affordable. You know, maybe not the Hellcats for some people, but you can start off with a regular Charger or Challenger with a V6 or V8 engine, a Hemi, and move your way up. But again, this is so sad that this is probably the last year we'll see these at an auto show. Just fantastic, fantastic cars. Kind of the evolution of the muscle cars from the late 60s and early 70s. There, of course, was a lag in the evolution of the muscle cars through the 80s and 90s, but once we get into the 90s and into the 2000s, we kind of picked up where we left off. So there are the Hellcats. Again, beautiful, beautiful cars and fantastic to own and drive. If you have one, keep it. They won't be making these much longer. And here's kind of the next phase in the Dodge car, and this is a Dodge Hornet. And the Hornet is actually an Alfa Romeo Tulare. Alfa Romeo and Dodge are all under the same umbrella, the Stellantis umbrella, which is the auto conglomerate, European conglomerate that owns both, as well as many other makes such as Maserati and Fiat and so forth. But again, this will be available in a couple of different engines. It will be available in a turbocharged 4-cylinder, as well as a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid. And actually the plug-in hybrid is more powerful than just the regular turbocharged 4-cylinder. And of course, we have the Dodge trucks. No, they're not going anywhere. I'm sorry, they're no longer called Dodge Rams. They're called Rams. It's its own brand now. These are Ram trucks, even though still made by the same company. But again, they've rebranded those in the past few years as Ram. And one thing that was absent from the Ram lineup at the auto show is the Ram TRX, which of course is the Hellcat-powered Ram truck. And I don't know why they didn't have one out here on the floor, but did not see a TRX. We saw the Hellcats, the Dodge Hellcats, Charger and Challenger, but no TRX. They are still available. So if you're looking for the most exciting truck on the road, go to the Ram dealer and get a TRX, which is the Hellcat-powered Ram. Taking a look real quickly at Subaru, except for the WRX, which is of course a turbocharged hatchback, and that's a fun car to drive. The other Subarus aren't really that exciting, but for people that just need a good, decent, dependable form of transportation, that's fine. Across the aisle are the Fiats, part of the Stellantis brand, as well as the not part of the Stellantis brand, the Kias. Kias are out there. And here is some of the Ioniqs, which are the electric-powered Hyundais, and there's a whole big lineup of those. And these are downstairs now, so this is the lower level of the auto show, and we see a whole bunch of these Ioniqs. You may hear the screeching of tires in the background. They have a little driving area where you can test out some of the cars. It's not like the Hellcat thrill rides that I used to see at some outdoor auto shows. Here are the Polestars. Polestars are all electric vehicles. It's part of the Volvo brand, and I think they're really going to do away with the name Polestar in the near future because they'll just be Volvos. So yeah. They I guess originally thought maybe they'd have a separate brand for the electric powered ones, but they're probably just going to be Volvos in the future, and they are electric Volvos, the Polestars. And there is one of the first Polestars out, and that is this one, the Polestar 1. And this actually is not a battery electric. It's not a full battery powered vehicle. This is a hybrid, and I think it's the only Polestar that is a hybrid. They made them for 2 or 3 years, and they made a few hundred to a few thousand. That's it. As you can see, dual exhaust, so there is an internal combustion engine in there as well. and this was upward of 150,000. So not many out there. They're probably sought after highly now as sort of collector's items, collector vehicles, because they didn't make many. And even Bentley is getting into the picture with hybrids. This is actually a hybrid Bentley. I don't know why anyone would bother. You're spending that much money for a Bentley. Why bother with a hybrid? It's just more complications, but, well, it'll get better gas mileage and maybe have some extra horsepower because of the extra engines, the extra electric engines, electric motors, I guess you'd call them. But again, beautiful Bentley. And non-hybrid is a McLaren. Glad to see McLaren at the auto show, even though there's just one of them here. And again, the Bentley, the McLarens, these are in the lower level of the Washington, D.C. auto show this year. Love to drive a McLaren. I never have, but that's got to be an unbelievable thrill to drive one of these. Just a beautiful car. And also in the lower level, we have a hovercraft. And this, of course, is a novelty. It's not as though people are coming here to buy one of these. It is a real novelty. It, of course, can go over land and water. So you can take it right from land into the water. This one is actually an all-electric hovercraft. If you've seen the gasoline-powered hovercrafts in the past, this, though, is all electric, and you see the fans on the side instead of in the rear. But this would be a fun vehicle to kind of cruise around in. And next, we're going to take a look at what some folks would love to see replace cars, and here we go. Some people would like to see us all on bikes instead of cars. No thanks, not me. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and like this video. It definitely helps. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Take care.